All right, we are live. So today we're going to try and get this town center done. Can't make any promises though. We're going to try and be a little more speedy quick with getting it done, but we'll see how that works out. I know once we get to these larger buildings that are multi-storied, that's where I'm going to get indecisive on my contents. This is just like a simple house that this guy owns. We'll just have that we're going to start on. The first thing we'll start on, but we shall see how far we get. I'm thinking the building we talked about yesterday, we'll get that mostly done or done, and then we'll get to the actual inn. And I have a feeling we're going to have to figure out how we want to make that thing work. All right, so let's go live. All right, so this is the building I was talking about. We're going to work on. Let's go ahead and get our levels compared. I need to see where fireplace is. Fireplace will be there. Let's set that down a little bit like that. Okay. So we'll need. We could either do a fireplace or like a cast iron stove. Not sure how we want to do it. Let's get this a little bit off here. That's better. But let's see how this goes. Let's grab our pen. Pen tablet's picking up the right thing. It seems like when I power up overnight, the computer decides that it's going to change where my pen's going to go. It usually goes to the top monitor up there that I don't, want it to go to, which is kind of funny. But all right. So we need a fireplace. I'm curious how they have that listed over here. So just chimneys, chimneys. Cloth folded. Oh, we could have put that in the what is this? Yeah, clothing doesn't really give us anything. Really wanted to hang some clothing on the hooks in there, but we don't have anything. All right, so fireplaces, fireplace accessories. Why is a lantern? Oh, it's an accessory holder. Okay. It's a rack. Let's see what it gives us here. I almost feel like this small house, we want something that's more utilitarian. Could have used that in an earlier map we made way back when. I think I ended up putting wall pieces miniaturized so that they weren't super thick. So something like this, that would work for heating the house and all that kind of stuff and give the dude something to cook on. I know I don't want rusty. Let's go here. All right, so this we need on user layer 3 because that's our sitting on top of the floor stuff. Let's turn snap off. Drop that. I'd say the only issue we have with this idea is, it really doesn't fit the idea that there's a chimney in here. Fireplace. I want to take a look at something. Let's see if we can repurpose one of these. See, I mean, that's actually looks like an oven. This kind of looks like a fireplace, but an oven. So let's give this guy, let's do this. Think that, I think that stone matches it, and we can pump it into the wall just a little bit. And let's face it, players aren't going to know that that is an oven versus a fireplace, right? If we're being honest. Oops, we have our filter set to everything. Objects on layer 3. So let's get a little closer. It is important to have this almost perfectly parallel so we can put it into the wall as much as possible. So we don't want it going outside. We want it right there. We want that shadow off because the shadow sucks. And that's this guy's fireplace. See that? If we're gonna, I think what we're gonna do, if we're gonna put something in that's a fireplace and a cooking pit at the same time, I think I kind of want to be able to put these in like this. It's kind of a shame that this isn't modular, so that we could have our options here and then put something over the top, and then in between that we'd be able to put a like half of a pot in there for cooking. You know what I mean? All right, but that's gonna be this dude's. That chimney is kind of fucked, isn't it? Pair levels, first floor. Let's get it like that. Let's turn this opacity down. We want that. See, even without that, it is crooked on the roof. And we're not going to have a crooked chimney. Even though it's quite possible. We are not going to tolerate that. We know that one's above roof. And we need to go there. Let's center it up. Let's go back to our first floor, and we no longer need the compare levels on. So let's get rid of that. Actually, let's just one more for the for where the door needs to be placed. We need a door right here. Place that. There's our door. All right, so this will be, we'll put some kitchen stuff in here. We'll put a divider across here, single wall, and we're going to leave this as like a common room. And then back here we'll have bedroom and commode. So let's lay those walls in, and then we'll start putting windows and windows, doors, and get this thing done. So let's do what we've been doing to make sure that the walls end up being parallel up there, because I really hate it. So we're going to grab a random shelf that we've already used. If it's down here. All right. So let's see. I think we're going to make that a little bit bigger. So let's resize that. It did go on layer 3. I think we're going to make this, the room, just a little bit bigger. We're going to assume this guy, you know, he doesn't have a shit ton of people popping in. All right, so let's place our wall. Pretty sure that's what we used. And, you know, we're just going to run it across. And then we'll move the points. Let's undo that. Midnight, how's it going? A gift on Twitter. I have no idea what the gift on Twitter is. Notifications. No idea. So I always forget, I hate the shadow on the walls too, because the shadows in this are awful. But let's go ahead and get our wall done. And then we're going to edit the points. Let's zoom in. And there it is. So we're going to have a touch here. And we'll have it touch there. And it looks like it's fine. I think my floor is not Yeah, the floor is askew, so if this is the same level of askew down as down there, we're good. I hate it when that happens. All right, so we'll delete this. And we'll delete that. I gotta take a look because I just hit a button and it didn't do anything. I changed my tablet buttons yesterday. Now I'm getting used to it. Oh, that's tab. Okay. And this is supposed to be control. All right, now, so I'm thinking bedroom here. We'll make that a little bit bigger, and this will be the bathroom. So let's go ahead and I should have just kept one of those on there. And it is, so that's fine. We'll decide if that's a size we want. All right, there's our object. Let's get it parallel. Is that how big we want it? That gives a little more there, but I think I'm going to expand it just a little bit. Do that. Copy, paste. And I know this is not ideal, but the fact that these buildings are built, put it here on an angle instead of being square to the map, this is really the only way that I found to make these walls so that they don't piss me off by being crooked. So we're gonna have those points go outside, edit the points, and just get it to touch and touch. All right, that's good. Let's get rid of these. And that's our layout for the building. And let's face it, it takes us a little bit longer than it should. I really should just take these buildings, spin them around, make them square, start throwing stuff in, and then after it's all done, spin the whole damn thing around. But, you know, I'm hard-headed. All right, portals. We'll put the same doors inside here. We'll do door there and door there. All right, let's place a bed. Again, user layer 3. 3 sits on the floor. Is a big bed going to fit in here? Maybe this dude is married or something, so let's go there. We'll do big bed. Then we need a table. We're going to set up just like a nightstand. Like that size. No, I don't like that. All right. Let's take the brush down. That's good. I mean, we could piece it together. I'm not super, yeah, I'm not super excited about that. So we need to scale this back up to 1. It's close enough. So there, table. Again, we will take the brush size down. I really want it to have some grain so it stands out. Maybe that. Once the shadows are in, it'll be easier to see and look better. Let's say a wardrobe. He doesn't need a fancy wardrobe. Put that there. And then, you know what, just for the hell of it, let's put a chest in here. Just in case players come in and they're like, oh, look, there's a chest. And, you know, it's basically just a chest. Nothing special. And we'll straighten all that stuff up in a second. Then we need a tub. We'll leave it empty. He's conserving water by not bathing. There's a tub. We'll do what we did in that other place because it gives us some place to put the basin. So we get a little bit longer table. Kind of like that. And size it down. Put that there. We need a basin. Doesn't need to be rusty. Just put a basin there. And a commode. Once we have all these placed, we'll come back and straighten everything up. I know I keep saying that, but got to remind myself that I intend to come in and do that. So there's his commode. We're not going to put a divider wall there because he just doesn't care. Nope, nothing there. Let's see, cabinet. The wardrobe pulls up the other stuff. A cupboard, that's what we need. Put the cupboard there. Table. Going to scale that up a little bit. You know what? We're going to put this over here. We'll put a window there. We'll put stuff around for them to eat. We're going to put a small work table in here. Put that there. This needs to, what is this? Is this a rocking chair? I don't need a rocking chair. Let's use these. We'll put these under. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll fix those. We need a rug. Really just want something small to put in front of that door. And we never put a sign outside that shop. I just remembered that. This guy wants you cleaning your feet when you come in and not messing up his floor. Leave her alone. She just growled at you. I saw. He's determined to get his ass kicked by the other pup. She is getting tired of his crap. All right, so let's get everything that we're putting on this layer here done. And then we'll start putting stuff on top on layer 4. All right. Cutting board. Nope. Well, we'll do that, but we said we were going to do something first. We'll put something over here for sitting. Ugly. See, now that I did that as colorable, it's screwing with me. So we're going to have to resave, reopen, and do it again. And I think this is another issue that's another Go dot issue. Oliver, how's it going? Glad to hear it. Doing well. So let's just put a little table here, and we'll put some stuff on it. Damn it, that shadow's on. I wish it didn't default to that. I think it does it to anger me. So we'll put that there. And let's take a look. This is software called Dungeon Draft. I've been using this for a while. Since I came over to using Foundry for my VTT, because all these walls, doors, and things that we put in here will translate over. Um, if you export it as a DD to VTT file, all that stuff comes in as your line of sight. Um, it does have disadvantages compared to using something like Clip Studio Paint or any art program to, actually draw your maps, but the utility is pretty good. But what I'm doing with this, I mean, I already have the ground done for this town. Yeah, Dungeon Draft is good. I mean, it's not real expensive software. It's I think it's $30 now. I got it when it was first being worked on at 20. It may still be 20, it may be 30, I'm not sure. I think now that it's at version 1.0 that it's actually going to be $29. But you can make a map really fast. This one is not going fast because of how I'm choosing to make it. Um, each one of these layers I'm going to end up placing on top of each other in Foundry, so that, like, when they're outside on the ground, when they approach, what they'll see is the roof. When they enter the building, the roof will go away and they'll be inside the building. Then when they go back out, the roof will be there. Um, and then these buildings that have roofs, instead of sitting on a plot, these are all non-explorable buildings. And these are the named buildings that are explorable in the adventure, as far as going in and talking to NPCs and doing stuff. So what I'm doing is mapping out all of the explorable buildings in Lost Mine of Phandalin, or Phandelver. This is the center of Phandalin, and I've got to do some other maps once I'm done with all the buildings here. But as you can see, this is our first floor building that we're working on. Then we'll get over to the inn, and the inn actually has 2 floors. This building has 2 floors, and then the town hall itself has a bell tower. So we'll do the bell tower portion, um, and we have the roof for everything already built. It is US dollars. Let's take a look. Dungeon Draft is still 19.99. I don't think it does. It's Tressendar Manor has that basement that's explorable. I mean, if it does have a basement, it'll be easy enough to throw it in. We can check that right quick and in a hurry because I have D&D Beyond up. Let's pull it down so I'm not craning my neck to look at that little monitor that I have up there. Sources. Lost mine. Town description. Townmaster's Hall. Sturdy stone walls, pitched wooden roof, and a bell tower at the back. Posted on the board next to the front door is a notice written in common. No function. Small but serviceable jail in the cellar. See, I misread that. I read small but serviceable jail in the center. So I have to create a basement for the jail. Let's see if we can do that. Croatian Beauty, how's it going this fine day? My God. So, yes, old and musty. I got to create a cellar. Ugh. Croatian Beauty is hearing impaired, so I do have to go in there. I used to keep. What is this? I used to keep closed captions on. But we haven't seen Croatian in for a while. So I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to turn that on. Do I still have it? Let me find that. I'm going to pop that so I can pull it on. Web captioner. All right, let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to have to resize that again. Oh my God. Well, see, that's the problem. The rain just drops and it's nothing but dirt in those water droplets. Durkin Noah's water droplets. What the hell is that? It's nothing but dirt in the water droplets. Stupid closed captioning. We're going to get this fixed. All right, so I think that is fairly close. Let's just test and see if this shows up right. All right, we are good. So we'll keep the closed captioning on while you're in here, Corasian. Every time I say Corasian, it'll come up with. Look at that. This time, instead of your name, it came up with Crazy in Italy. So what's it going to come up with for Corasian this time? Now it's corrosion. Oh my God. That is insane. I'm going to make another adjustment and then we'll get back to mapping. Oh my God. All right, we're going to put that there. And that is going to go there. Now we're good. That's insane. But yeah, that's the problem. What I've always seen is, let's say I decide to wash my car. I'll wash it, and either later that day or the next day it rains if the car is outside, and it's dirty all over again because of all the pollution in the water. So it's never a free car wash. It's a do-over car wash. But yeah, Oliver, if you're still here, it's still 19.99 in US dollars, which for the program is awesome. Now you won't get, here's the thing, you won't get the assets that I'm using. The assets I'm using in this are um, Forgotten Adventures assets. So I pay monthly for that so that I can use them. But if you go in and get set up on their Patreon, you can use those. The assets that come with it aren't bad. I just don't like the style of the assets that are built into it. Oh, and let's tell you what. I did say yesterday, and I said earlier, I never put a sign out front here. This is an actual business, so we need to post a sign here. Yeah, well, it's $3 per package. So you can get set up so that once a month, I do it as a monthly thing. You know, they do all the work, so I feel kind of cheesy doing that. And if I end up putting these up on my Patreon with all the work that I'm doing as a module, I'm going to license to be able to use their assets, which will be more. But you know, in the past, I've given all these maps away for free and just give credit on my old Patreon that's there just as a support Patreon for the stream. But I've set up a second one that when I get done with this, create a module that can go in the Foundry and you can go all through the floors and stuff. I mean, I'm probably going to have like 50 hours worth of work done in this one when I'm done between everything on this level as well as the other stuff. So I'm going to set that up as a module for Fandelver that you can pull in all the maps and use them and use the levels. And I was talking about yesterday, I'm probably going to redo the map that I did for in the cave at the beginning, one of those first combats. And I'm going to redo that so I split it into levels because that one is technically leveled. It has steps going up to different areas, a chute. So you've got a cave that's leveled, plus you've got one level that goes over a bridge with a walkway down below. So I want that to function as a bridge where you walk over top and you know it works there. When you're down below, you actually go underneath the bridge. So I'm I mean, I'm going crazy with making these D&D maps for the printed modules usable inside of Foundry without having to do any funky work after the fact, which is how I've always done them in the past, where you've got to set up using like multi-level tokens. You had to set up to teleport to different zones. You know, I would build a map where, let's say it was leveled, you know, you'd have several floors, and I would have those floors like a standard map would be. And I would set up teleport points using multi-level tokens that would throw the player from here to this part of the map. And I want these to be stacked now, so it'll be more work, but it'll also be more immersive and look better. So I'm in the process of getting all that set up. What was I looking for? Signs, right? So sign. And I know if you go to cartographyassets.com, there's like a small free D&D integration package, and even on um, Forgotten Adventures page, not their Patreon, there's a link to their free D&D Beyond integration or Dungeon Draft integration. It doesn't have all those assets, but it has honestly enough to get you going if you don't want to spend a bunch of cash. And I don't think a lot of people are real worried about repetitive assets on their map. You know, they just want something that their players can go in and, you know, do what they're going to do, get in and out, get done on the map, be done. So the basic integration is probably enough for most people that are mapping. So we're going to put a sign right there, a little away from the door. I said I was going to do that last night, and I think I just got sidetracked. I get sidetracked, I admit it. And we need to add a little texture and lived in look to this house over here. See, right now we just have the plain floor. We're never happy with that. So let's go to level 2. Again, we will, because that's our floor. And again, we'll go ahead and we're going to start. It's okay. Oh, it's hardly ever accurate. It is hardly ever accurate. Just like I said, it's as a contraction and it pulled up nothing. It's like that wasn't even a word. So closed captioner drives me crazy, but I kind of took it off for a while because we weren't seeing you around, but I'll keep it on again. So I need to figure, let's see what this floor is here. We can check. See, when you come back and you want to do what I'm getting ready to do, you really need the overlay I'm getting ready to throw on the floor to be sitting at about the same angle, right? So what you need to do is go in, we laid a pattern down. We're going to check this, and it's at 122 point, it's either 0.1 or 0.2, but this tells us what our rotation needs to be when we lay the new pattern down. And this is going to be an overlay on top of this that'll make the floor look like it's worn. And there are other overlays you can lay down that put holes in the floor. It does all kinds of stuff. But what we're doing... Hey, Maltese friendo, how are you doing this fine day? But what we're going to do is make the floor look worn. And for some reason, I don't think it's in this group. I think it's down here. Let's see. I think that's just 22. This is Dungeon Draft. So let's undo that. Let's set the opacity about 50% there. Yep, just like in the title. It's all good. So I think that'll add a little bit of character. Instead of having it just be really harsh, it'll be more subtle and give the floor a worn look. And I think that's something else that I think a lot of people don't think about when they're putting this stuff down. You don't have to put it down exactly as it is. You can change the opacity on it and, make it look lightly worn instead of heavily worn like it does with... See, now it's just got those little wear spots all over the place, and it gives the floor a little bit of character. So now the floor looks better. Now we're going to do one more thing, and we're not going to do a lot with this. I may only do one that'll cover all of this floor, but it'll give it a little bit more character. So let's go here. We're going to lay this on layer 2 because that is the floor. We'll have it over. We'll pull up our clouds. Let's find one that's square and sparse. Or rectangular, I should say. This is fairly rectangular. We're going to see if we can size it. And we're not going to leave it so it looks like that. But let's see. First, let's do that. And let's see how big we can size this. Let's see if it covers most of this building. Okay, it does. Now we're going to do this. We're going to turn this into black. Take it down to like 4 or 5. Let's go about 4. Maybe a little more. Let's see what it's doing. Accept. See, it's kind of creating a little bit of shadow there. We're not happy with that. Not super happy with that. Let's try that. There you go. See, it kind of puts an indication of additional wear and staining. We'll put 1 down. Let's get away from that object. See, now it doesn't look like that boring ass floor anymore. It's got a little bit of staining to it. And I mean, we could even, let's undo that. See, undo it, and now it's back to the regular floor color. Let's do it just a little bit darker. So maybe about here. There we go. See, there's the floor, and there's with that laid over it. It just gives it, I mean, these people live in this muddy-ass town, right? It gives it the indication that the floor has been used and stained over the years. So that's how I age these boards so that true. But there is a roof. But you know, now it looks like it's been lived in. And we can do that, you know, to a smaller extent on these other assets, which I will do because you know, like this, it just looks way too clean. It doesn't look lived in. So you want it to look lived in. Like this should be stained. And we're gonna place lights in here. And one of the reasons you can have the assets drop with shadow, and it's basically a shadow outline, which makes no sense unless all light is overhead. And it's not. And even if it's overhead, you've got angles from where your light source is to where something is in the room. And it doesn't take that into account. So we'll end up going in, and here, this is one of the things that takes a lot of time. Like this is the smithy that I did. And if you look, you know, I lay down my shadows according to my light sources. You know, you've got light source here. Let's turn the lights off. You've got your light sources here, which are going to create shadows here. You've got this so that it you know, these are the shadows that would be representative of the light sources. And, you know, like this, you're going to have some shadows coming off from the candles that I lit. And again, I do the lighting so it doesn't light the whole room. I do it so it indicates that that item is lit. And then you've got all of these things where the shadows are being cast according to various light sources. And it makes the room look more accurate or alive, however you want to put it. It's like here, these are just shadows we put in because we've got a light source there. And if you just do the drop shadow where it goes around in a circle around this, it makes no sense to me when I look at it. So I take the time to go in and do all that, but it really does drag out the time. And, you know, this one I made so it's dirty. I mean, This I did so it looks dirty. That's a blacksmith's house. He's always going to be dragging grunge and stuff in. I mean, it just if you just drop assets down and don't do something to give it a little bit of color, it does get a little bit plain and boring. But it adds a ton of time to doing your map as well. So let's start adding some character to the room. So we're still working on layer 3. And the way I look at it, layer 3 is anything that's sitting on the floor. And then layer 4 is anything sitting on top of those items. And that allows me to create the shadows where I need them to make it work. I mean, I would much prefer that the floor is layer 1, and then I would have 3 more layers to work with. But because we are building a map that counts on having multiple layers that are going to stack, I have to place my shadows on layer 1 down below this stuff. Yep, and this one will be like that eventually. Um, and what I'll do for this, I do this the lazy method. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to pick a bunch of different clouds like that because we're going to want to put some staining on top, right? Um, then we're going to have to resize it down so it's relatively small. We'll see if we're happy with the sizes. So, oh, I must have put that on the wrong layer. I need to move that because that should be on layer 4. Let's do that before we even start this. We need objects, not patterns. So that's set. Yeah, we set that on layer 4, and that's easy to fix. Or on layer 3. We need that on layer 4. And you saw it would have dropped that cloud pattern that we plan to drop on top of that. So we've got what we need here. And what I found you can do is you can cycle through these by holding shift and rolling your mouse key to find the one that you really want to use. But let's go ahead and I think this is the one we want to use here. So a little bit of stain there. We don't like that one. See, it's picking this up, so we need to go in here, do control, get rid of that. We only want it to be there. See, too big. And these are just like, in my opinion, this is like water stains that are sitting underneath this because it's been used. Do we really want to stain the toilet? No, we're just going to put a shadow around it. We don't need to get totally gross. Put a little bit like here. I think that'll fit. So, I mean, that's showing it's aged. Maybe they had a leaky roof at one time. Kind of put that there. I think I need to tone this down just a little bit. So let's add this as an option. Let's scroll through and see what we get. Move it over here. Let's use our mouse. And then we're going to end up putting some vegetables and stuff on that. Can do the same thing like here. Maybe overlap a little bit. That's going to be in the shadows, so nobody's going to notice. Wait until we get one that fits. Yep, you could. You could go in and... Well, I think what you might want to do is do a dark spot, right? So do that, and then put a light spot on top of it so it gives a little bit of depth. Let's see how that works. Let's add custom color. We'll kind of go like a light gray. We'll take that down to about 20. Let's go about there. Let's see what it does. Let's cycle through these and see what it gives us. Let's put it right on top. I think we didn't do enough there. Let's pull that up. Let's see what that does. Oh no. I don't know, this looks like a dog got on there and made a mess. My dog is just like, I think the cloud in there, we dropped that dark spot, and then I think that kind of gives it the wear look. We're gonna go with that. We'll have to play with that and see if we can make it work. So that gave it a little bit of a worn. If we want to do the same to the chairs, we need to decrease our size even more here. There we go. A little bit on the chair. All right, so that gives us, everything's got a little bit of that worn look to it. Now we need to place our lights. There. That looks a little worn too. So that's one thing I really feel like, it's possible to make things look too pristine when you're doing a map. And this is there. There we go. All right. So let's start putting some stuff in. Candles. Yeah, if you're just dropping assets, everything looks way too pristine. All right, so we need to, we don't need a spread on this. Let's do this. Massive candle. And I will light a few things in here just to have them lit. And then we'll go ahead and start generating our. See, that's the problem. Let's turn this grid off. We don't need it anymore. I definitely. See, before I was. That's the other thing that's easy to struggle with, but it gets worse once you start laying more stuff down on a layer. And I had a bad habit of building everything on the same layer, which makes it really hard to pick up and select assets to move stuff around. So I've started going to where I've got floor layer, items on the floor, items on top of that. And like I said, if this was a map that I could put everything down on a single map instead of going with the layers inside of Dungeon Draft, then I'd have one more layer to work with, which would really, really make me happy. But the fact that we're building these maps out with a specific purpose in mind, um, yeah, that's going to create a few issues. And I think I'm going to have to. I'm I'm going to see if I can open two instances of Dungeon Draft because I'm going to need to have a map that just has like the first floor stuff on it on the ground. So copy some of this stuff over and see if I can paste it in the second instance. I haven't tried this, but I'm going to need a flat map so that let's say somebody doesn't have Foundry and they want to be able to have those multiple floors. I'm going to have that set up for that too. All right, so we're going to take this up a little bit bigger. We'll place it right there. All right, so that's a light that we're going to have in here. Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to forget about little stuff like that. Put a candle in here. We need to create some windows too. So 1, 2. Let's lay down a couple of candles there. No windows in the bathroom. We're not going to let the pervs have a look. It's like when we did so I'll show you what we did over here. We've got the nun's house, right? And we set this up so if I export this out to DD to VTT files, and I always test these things too. So we've got a curtain that's fully drawn, and then across the other windows, this is in that nun's house. These windows, or the acolyte's house, are all open for now. That's why they're kind of drawn over. So the way I always test to make sure that I place stuff in properly, see like right here, that doesn't come in. This, the light, people can peek in because she's got her curtains open. And that'll transfer out to that. But nope, nobody's peeking into the bathroom. And I go ahead and test because this will be your line of sight that'll come into Foundry. Now, because I'm doing it in layers and I'm going to export this as a WebP file, I'll end up redrawing the walls inside of Foundry when I start creating the module in there. But I'll do it the same way. If this was all on one floor, then yeah, this would all transpose over directly into your virtual tabletop and be perfect. This is not a game. This is preparing maps for playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm basically getting things ready for when I run a campaign, probably a couple of months down the road, um, running Lost Mine of Phandelver, because I'm going to set up like a new player group, and that's a really good thing to run new players in. So taking the time to build out the maps the way I want them to look and work, and then everything will be perfect. But what I am showing here is the fact that like line of sight is really important. If you've got a character sitting outside here and they're looking in, they can see what's happening inside that room. But if they're out here, they'd have to break the window, and then, you know, commit a crime and come inside and look around. Like this is a door. You can't see through a door, but you can see through windows. So I have that stuff set up like that. You can't see anything. Well, I mean, you can see where the light's showing through here. And that's where my arrow is. That's where an actual player would be sitting and looking through. So that's your line of sight. All right, so we've got this stuff set. This is not lit. I'm going to actually put a lantern here. On the wall, and let's this guy, the guy that owns this is a shopkeeper, so he has access to fairly nice stuff. So let's say he decided to put a single lantern in so that when he's cooking and stuff like that, he can see. Nothing worse than cutting a finger off when you're cooking. All right. So this is a really small object, and I am really, I'm going to be honest, I'm really anal about making sure that things are coming off perpendicular from the wall or parallel to the wall. Yeah, this I don't care that it's askew. That's normal. You go into a kitchen, things are always not perfect. You know what I mean? Unless you're in somebody's house who's really worried about that. But I just worry about clean countertops and everything being clean when I'm cooking. If I throw a thing down like that, it doesn't bother me. All right, so now we're working on layer 4 and placing objects down. Now, with this, let's go ahead and start lighting. Nope, we're going to light the room last. Let's place our objects and then we'll light the room. So this is the top of a cabinet. We're going to assume there's nothing up there. Here we're going to need some cutlery. Where's kitchen? Cutlery. They really mean that, don't they? Kitchen knives. That's what I need. All right. Everybody needs a big ass cleaver. We're going to put the cleaver here. Then we'll put, a chopping knife here. Then let's put a pot in on here because he's a stew man. He likes his meals prepared so everything's mixed together. He's a stew man. We'll put a pot there. And you know what? He likes big stew, so let's make the pot a little bigger. He likes leftovers for the week. All right. Now, this guy's the town merchant. So maybe he can afford a little nicer plates. Does he want wooden plates? I mean, let's face it. It's probably not sealed, so all those germs and stuff get inside of your plates. So he's got some metal plates. Everybody's jealous of his table setting. Then he's got his fancy forks. I'm going to take that down in size just a little so that hopefully these all fit. If they're a little askew, it's good. So we have that. He's not putting cups out because that's going to take up too much room on the table. We don't care about cups right now because nobody's actually eating. What about, I don't think these people have chopsticks. Ooh, we're going to put a spoon on each plate because he's actually going to put a bowl on every plate because he's a stew man. All right. So now we did find, and where the hell was it? We found cloth folded, right? Now the nun, she was a slob. She had her stuff just thrown around. This guy, oops. So look at that. I did say we needed to move this and we didn't do it. Or did we? Yeah, we did. We're going to move this over a little bit. We're going to put it on the edge. Then we're going to move that. Let's zoom in. That's one of the reasons I like using this pen tablet. You can be a lot more exact. All right. So this, we're going to go ahead and put this. That's a basin, so this will fit under the rim. And do we have his and her towels, multicolored? See that guy? He has to have a black towel. I'm going to say he is. He's that guy. All right. There's our his and hers towels, all ready to rock and roll. I tell you what, since we're doing his and hers, Oh, that sucks. See, these are the built-in assets. I mean, they're not horrible, but it's just not not my preferred drawing style. I was gonna put a vase up there, but I guess we don't have any. What are door add-ons? What have they given us? I wonder if they've thrown like doorknobs and stuff over here. All right, so let's forget about that. We got sidetracked. We're gonna see if there is a vase. If we don't find one in a moment, oh, wait a minute. I think I know where it is. See, look, and it'll probably be potted plants. Now that's kind of what it used to be. So maybe we just have to pick a. Let's see, what does that look like? That's big. But you know what? We might let the missus have a potted plant. She's going to keep it in the kit. That's a little big. An urn. We're going to keep it in an urn. Because it's going to die anyway because we don't water it. So let's take this down in size. We're going to put that on top. Then we're going to pick some flowers. We're going to keep it simple. But, the missus wanted some flowers. He goes, all right, I hate flowers, but we'll have some flowers. You have to water them. All right, over here, let's see. Let's throw a book or two. As well as see, that's why we put the light over there because we wanted to be able to sit down and read after a nice meal. All right, so we're going to call that decorated. We're going to keep it simple. So that's decorated. Now we're going to light this candle, or all these candles. We'll use that. Take the range down to about 2. Intensity down to, for a single candle, we'll keep it at like 0.7. And then for these doubles, we'll go like that. Like that. And then this, we want to take the intensity to about 0.7 again. Make the range just a little bit bigger. So we don't want it, we know this lantern is going to light 20 feet plus 20 feet dim light, right? We don't care about that. What we care about is that this gives the indication that there is light coming off that lantern. So we're going to pop that there. And that takes care of our light. What I've found, especially in this program, is if you put the lights so that they do 20 feet of light, like all these things are going to do wide radius of light. And if you do that inside of this, it makes everything really go flush. It really washes out the colors and makes it look like crap. So what I prefer to do is show that the lantern is lit and these candles are lit, and then go ahead and light inside of the virtual tabletop. That's my personal preference, but I think it makes it look better. I mean, you take the lighting off, it's flat, you add that little bit of lighting, there's a little bit of life to it. All right, now let's start shadowing. So we're probably going to use the 40% path in here. And you've got competing light sources. Let's be honest, the candles aren't going to be that bright, but the candles themselves, and these are things, people aren't going to think about. The candles themselves, down below, that's not going to be lit. So we need a shadow around the candle. My go-to is about this much for these small shadows. Do fade to fade. And I'm pretty sure I'm on the wrong layer. Let's undo that. We need this on layer 4 under. So create the shadow that's cast on itself from that. Now we're going to take this down a little bit more. And this side will have a little bit of shadow from the candle. And it's all just subtle. Now the other thing you can do, if you want to, and it works either way, you can start inside your asset and then bring it around, tap it, curl it back in, does the same thing. But I like the fade, especially for stuff like this. So this is going to cast a shadow down onto the chairs this way, and a slight shadow around here. And these shadows are all going to be subtle. So this will cast a shadow. Oops. Yeah, we need that on another layer. That's on layer 3 because that's sitting on the floor. So we're going to go. Now the issue here, we kind of need to go here and make it work. Hey, Lucid Lucis. Lucius, how's it going? Did we place this chair on layer 4? So we'll do a little bit of darkening here. A little bit here. Same there. And there. I am doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, those are all on layer 3. And additional layers would be nice for shadowing. But again, if you want to be able to do that, that's a whole nother program, not Dungeon Draft. You can get a fair bit done the way you want to with this. All right, so we're going to go from here to here. Make that curve. There we go. Same thing, there to there. Curve it. Making a race. Oh, you mean an actual race. All right, so that's our shadow cast from the table, from those candles down on that stuff. If we really want to, we can lay down some more subtle shadows for these items. And, you know, like for the fork. Now the spoon's going to be problematic because that's sitting on top of an item on the table. Again, that's where an additional layer would be really nice. Because we can't make it go on top. We can't... See, if it goes on... And it's not even going on top of the stuff there properly. So we're not going to worry about those. We've got that shadowed. Let's move on. All right, so now we've got this bright light source. We need to create shadows for this. This will go under. These are a little taller. What is going on there? It's like that's an empty hole. That's not working right. Let's get rid of those cups because it appears they're problematic. Let's see what that does. Yeah, it's showing through. Those aren't... It's bad. Delete. Delete. That's like a defective object. Try it again. Cup. See, if they're empty, it's... I tell you what, we're going to do this. Leave it on layer 4. We'll do 1, 2. We'll say they're drinking some wine and reading a book after dinner. Works for me. And now we can shadow this thing. And we need shadow behind the book. And we need one right here. Take that down, do it as over. Hopefully, it's not doing it. That should be going on top. I think I need to save and reopen this map. When it starts doing weird behaviors, it's telling you restart because something's not functioning properly. Well, that sounds cool. All right. Path tool. We've got to go in and get our shadow back. We are using 40%. This is a little brighter light source. I think we're going to use this here. So let's see if this works. We've got layer 4. We want it over. And it's like layer 4. It won't go over layer 4. Well, we'll have to live with that. Do under. All right, so that's shadow going in that direction. Now we need a shadow for the couch. Draw that a little bit closer. All right, there's the shadow for that. And then because of the light, it should kind of go out like that a little bit on an angle. Be the same thing here because the light's kind of projecting out. So let's project our shadow. And then we're always going to have a shadow back like that. Now we'll go to layer 4. We'll start shadowing these things. Take the size down for this object. Take it down again like that. Go like that. A little bit here for the overhang. Same thing there. Do wrong layer. And with the light going across there, we're going to need something up here. And always need to create a shadow behind. All right, so there's that. Let's go back to our shadow. Make this a little bit wider. See, that kind of, you got to be careful with these corners. If you lay enough points down, it works fine. All right. So for this, shadow along the wall. Same thing here. Same thing there. Are we behaving? I don't know. Probably not. All right, let's zoom in here. Create our shadow here. Yep, that is true. Let's take the width down. See, that's not good. Well, you know what I always say. Better pissed off than pissed on unless you're into that shit. now, see, this is layer 3. And this is where we got to be careful how we do this. What is this thing doing? What layer did I place that on? I got to figure this out. It's on that layer, so why is it not putting the shadow over it? I guess I need to pop it on layer 4. That was almost good. There. That gives us our shadow we wanted there. And I don't know. Are we feeling this is done? Nope, we didn't do a table. We didn't do our sharper shadows around that. We shadowed that. You never shadow a light because it doesn't make any sense. Unless it's like a candle, then it makes sense. So I think we need to do this. We will use that 60% path. Not wide enough. Actually, I think I'm going to use this one. Have it come in that way. I think I need just a little bit more. All right, there we go. We want that shadow to kind of wash away from that. I think we're good there. Let's zoom out and see if we finish this one. All right. So lights off, lights on. I want to say we're done with this portion. Good deal. So that one's done. So have you been up to anything exciting, Ash? I think I need to do need to go in. Can I create another level underneath of this thing? I think I can. Let's go to settings, level settings. Create basement. We're not going to switch to level on creation. Not going to clone a level, but we need this to be underground. There's the basement. We need to compare to the first level. And we'll need to figure out where we're going to put this. We know it's a small jail. I think probably the best thing to do would have stairs going down, descending from the first floor to the basement somewhere against the wall. It's not going to make a lot of sense to do it like in the middle, in my opinion. They don't give us a good description, so we have to make this shit up. Just, it's in the cellar. In fact, the cellar. So we'll compare this. Going to compare that to ground. And we need the entrance to this building, which will be right here. So we didn't put any windows in the house we just did. I said we were going to do that. So we need a door. Yeah, this is a house with zero ventilation, which is always safe, except for the chimney. All right, so we need to create, I was thinking a window there, maybe a window here. A window in the bedroom. No windows in the bathroom. It's like we said, no peeping Toms. Let's go with a small window frame. So window, maybe a window looking out while you're cooking, because why not? We want these to allow light. Small window in the bedroom. And that takes care of that. Now we need our items, which are the actual windows, our objects. Window small. And dark. So that should get us all the dark wood windows. A wired small window. Is he security conscious? So this needs to be above walls. I think the issue here is going to be it might not cover what we want it to cover. Layer above walls. Leave it with our objects. And we'll zoom in and see if this is going to work. Now, this window, we're going to put curtains up and we are going to block light. So this one blocks light. Yeah, I thought it looked a little crooked. That one blocks light, but it's all good. And then this one, it did that crap with the shadows again. Off. That there. Shadow off. Let's fix this because it's probably got the shadow on. Let's see. Curtain, small. Just see what that gives us. We don't want it kicked open because it is, we're going to do colorable. Turn that damn shadow off. Place that there. This doesn't need to be above walls. It needs to be on layer 4. Kick that. And we're going to block light with that. So you can't see out through there. But you can see in and out through these windows. Now we're done that building. Only took 2 hours to get it done. Let's take a look because we did this with stone. and wooden walls inside. We need to compare this to the roof because I need to see where my chimneys are, and that'll determine what we're going to do to design this. So this started off with a double chimney here. So that's either like a big common room fireplace or a kitchen. I think we're going to go with the big common room fireplace that'll be on both the first and second floor. And then back here, we're going to place only on the first floor a kitchen. So that's what we'll do. So back here, we'll place an oven. Then we'll figure out what we're going to do for this big ass fireplace. We might do like a double. Um, but let's see. Let's see how we want to do this. That's centered there. And this, we're going to take it up in size because it's a big ass fireplace. And we're still sitting above walls, so we need to fix that. This needs to be sitting directly on layer 2. It is not going anywhere. All right, so that one's set. And that one's set. I guess inside here we'll need to put something in. Honestly, this all just needs to be walled off as a area that they can't see in as a terrain wall. All right, let's go ahead and start grunging up this floor a bit. Then we'll start laying walls down and figure out our layout. In fact, let's do the second floor. So we need a chimney on the exact, or a fireplace on the exact same place right there. All right. I think I can live with that little shift. Nobody's going to notice the difference other than me. All right. It is grunge time. That's a 32.9, so that'll be important for our effect we're placing. No, way too harsh. You know what? I think I'm going to do something. Let's see how something looks. Trying to see if we did this kind of like they have an outline of boards. We'd have to do this so we had it going sideways that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Maybe on a later project. We'll work on fancier floors. Oh no. See, it doesn't center up well. Trying to find something to put in there that would look nice. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. I have an idea. This will make it work. Try and get that front edge. We just want a little bit sticking out. Like that. There we go. Now we're happier. Now we don't have the floor showing. We've got that. Um, I could probably drop some logs in there. So we could put this here. All right. Then we'll select this. I think that's one we need to bring to the front. And there we go. That took care of it. And then we're going to light this. So what I've been doing in order to force the light to come out through the front is this. Right down here at the bottom. Just need a short, straight wall section. Doesn't matter what it's going to look like. So we're going to place... How small can we take that down? And nobody's ever going to see this because we're going to send it to the back. But we want this here. We want that there. Block light. Block light. Same thing there. Same thing there. Now, send this to the back. Then when we do this, it'll create light inside, right? We don't want that to be too massive, and we don't want the intensity to be crazy. So we're going to drop that inside. We could put one more, but we don't want to do that. See, here's the problem. Let's just create this the way we're thinking. Do that. So it's slightly problematic because the light's coming out over this here. We could always place it like up here, right? Then do an object. Make sure it comes all the way across and touches the other objects that we have on the bottom, right? So we'll put it here. We're going to send that to the back. Then we'll drop one more light inside here. And the light that we put in, want to be nice and bright. But there's our fireplace. And this we can bring the intensity up a bit. And that kind of shows that it's lit inside of there. And then we have that light outside the fireplace. So turn the lighting off, lighting on. Works for me. And that way this banister isn't lit like it was the first time. All this stuff isn't lit. You get a little glow on the edge, which is fine, and it looks good. All right. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to filter objects and lights. And we're going to filter layer 3. Actually, we can do all. And we'll do this. That picks up all of that. We're going to copy it. Let's go to the second floor. Paste that. We'll put that right on top. Right on top of that one. And we have an identical fireplace up there. So we've got second floor, first floor. Perfect. And all the layers come over the way that we did it. So we're good. All right, now we're going to start grunging our floor. Let's go back to our object tool. In fact, we're going to go to our scatter tool. And because this is a pretty big building, I think I need one more that just is going to take me down a little bit more. All right. So we have common room, kitchen. We have our fireplace lit. Have our pattern on the floor. Looks a bit more lived in. We need some light on this. So let's do that now. That one's set. We're going to size this on layer 4 so we can see. And then we're going to throw our blocks in here. So we want this just back there. And then we'll have a little bit of wall sticking out up to here underneath of it. We're going to put this here. Leave a little bit of glow on the rocks coming up on top of that oven. We will set this on layer 2. Same thing. Just need a piece like this. Again, nobody's ever going to see it. Scale it down just a wee bit. There. And there. Let's bring it in here. Again, even if it's sticking out a little bit, none of that matters. This is here to block the light source we're going to put in there. So we're going to put that on layer 2. Again, turn it. Set it. Drop it. We're going to go down here again. You see that's gonna take care of our light right there. Drop that light source. I'm going to pull it back like that. We're going to go down to layer 2. We want that to come out on a little bit of an angle. Kind of like that. So lighting off, lighting on. Same thing. All right, we're good. All right, now we need to build some walls and put some doors in first. Let's compare this to ground. So we need an entrance here and an entrance here. Hey, Hexar, how's it going? I think we're going to put a double door on the front, a single door in the back side. Above average? I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. So let's do door one here. And then we're going to rotate 180. And why is that being ornery? Why? Let's make sure they are bumping there. And you know what I think we're going to put on here? We haven't done this. Let's find a 2x1 stoop if they have that. Those are window sills. So this is not going to block light. It doesn't make any sense. But let's see if we can get this to go in. Al Score, how's it going? Come on. I guess that door is getting placed there. So that's our door frame. Now we need our door. Hopefully they will work on here. So we got one. And then flip it. I'm going to have to drop it and move it. It is misbehaving. So we're going to put that right there. Oh, you bastard. Do you see what this thing's doing? So you get the feeling if we just put a door frame in, we can't add the doors. And I don't see... And I don't want to do it this way. I want the door to be split. So I guess we're going to have to do it this way. Let's test that. See, it's kind of, you see that weird shit it's doing? Black light, black light. Let's test it again. See, it's got this weird little shadow thing going there on the door. What program? This is Dungeon Draft. But it doesn't look like the light's coming over inside. It's just got that weird shadow. I'm going to see if we can see if we can get these a little bit closer together. What the hell is that doing? See that? It's like it's throwing a little wall piece there. So we'll do that. Let's overlap it a little. See if we let them touch. It's really getting weird on us. And then, watch. See, right there we have that little sliver of wall popping. And that is not going to make me happy. It's not noticeable, but we know it's there. I guess we'll live with it. It doesn't look like light's coming inside or going outside, so it's doing its job. It's just not acting weird. I mean, it's acting weird. And then down here, place the same portal over here. See, I was hoping we could place... Let me take a look at something. I am curious. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fix this wall. So we're going to take that off. Let's zoom out. I think in the end this will look better. So we'll do... We're going to delete the door. Delete the door. Then, for our portal tool, we're going to place a double door entry. That's a little too big. See, that frame doesn't want to... Where's the one we found we tried the last time? It's down here. Those are window frames. See, that's really coming off like a 1x1. Why is it doing that? It's not sizing properly. We're going to do this. See, it came in right the first time. I think we need to reopen the map and let it refresh its memory. Oh, now it's doing this. The minute it comes up where that's like semi-transparent, you know that the memory leaks are starting to happen and you've got problems. So we're going to reopen the map. And this thing's a big map, so I can kind of understand it. I just wish it wasn't doing it. All right, I think that's better. Put our closed captioning back on. Twitter closed captioning. We put our closed captioning back on. So to make it work, I would have to really talk slow. It's kind of funny. Kind of. Takes a while. We have a lot of textures that need to load. It'll get there eventually. There we go. See, now it's working. And I'm betting that now our assets will size properly. If they don't, then we're a little bit screwed. See, that is really not a double door right there. Let's see if those doors fit in there when we place it. So this is actually blocking light. Let's find a door. Oh, and that was giving me a problem because it snapped the grid. We need the portals. We need that right there. I feel like these are not going to fit properly, but we're going to see. These need to go above walls. So if we place this here, we rotate that 180 degrees, place that there. Is that going to fit? Or is that going to have a little gap? I'm feeling gap. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can make this work. I really don't want to end up with ugly doors. So we've got that there. That there. We can center these up, even with a tiny gap. All right, so that gives us a door frame. locked into the wall. Now let's drop a light down and see the light does what it's supposed to do. Now the only issue we're going to have is when I open the doors, it's going to open just as one big door. But that takes care of how it looks. We had an issue with how it looked. And now we've got a proper door frame. All right, we need another door over here. We're going to do that as a single. Place that here. It's blocking light, so we know that's going to work. Then we'll pull up our object tool. We have the same door sitting here. Pop it here. And we just need it to be placed so that it doesn't look funky. All right, that works. We're going to set it so everything's on the proper layer at this point now. So everything should be above the floor. Let's zoom out. And before we forget, doing that so we can get it to look like she's sitting at a 90-degree angle to the wall. All right, so there's our sign for the place. There's our back door, the main entrance. We're looking good. Loki. She is going to kick your butt. All right, let's take a look here. So I'm going to have to drop my daughter off. I'm going to come back and eat something real quick. Then I'll get back on and work on this for another couple of hours until I have to pick her up. So we're going to call it for now. keep an ear out. We'll be on, like I said, probably about a half hour or so. Everybody, catch you in a bit. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.